This footage shows us the last few photographs taken by a deep survey probe, just before it ultimately ceased functioning. At the time, it was the deepest any human-made object had ever gone, at just below 18 kilometers under sea level. At those depths, millions of tons of rocks pressed down, causing temperatures to rise up to unbearable levels, like those which caused the probe to stop responding. And this is just one of the several ways in which this place greatly differs from the upper world of green vegetation and blue skies. There is no sunlight, air and water circulation are impaired, the atmosphere becomes too heavy to breathe in deeper down. Yet stating the gaping deep network is devoid of life would at best cause you to be accused for living at the rock yourself, as life isn't just present, but actively thrives. Tens of thousands of species currently known of bacteria, fungi, and even animals, with possibly 1 million more left to be discovered. All of them have developed unique features and capabilities to survive, forming perhaps one of the most peculiar and extreme of ecosystems. Get your arm right ready and prepare to explore the alien landscapes of Gaden. Starting off comfortably from inside of one of our outposts, all we really have to do is look around. On one side, you can see the red sandstone walls, littered by tiny minerals, whose steep and rough surface will disappear anywhere the external headlights can't reach. Without those, you wouldn't even notice we're surrounded by rocky walls and ceilings on all sides. You'd have the impression of being in a limitless void, with complete darkness surrounding us all. By making the wrong step, however, you'd quickly find yourself swimming in a vast body of still water, remarkably similar to the thousands of lakes found on the surface, stretching way beyond what we can see, both above and below. This is a cold pond, whose temperatures, as the name suggests, are pretty low, usually not much warmer than freezing point. By pointing down one of the headlights more perpendicularly to the water, we can reveal a wonder, a silvery surface floating on the water, with faint hues of pink and assorted colors. This is not some substance leaking into the water or a simple light illusion. It's actually our first encounter with life. The Methylobacterium specularis is perhaps the most abundant bacteria in the entirety of the cave system. There is no sunlight for photosynthesis, so they instead rely on using chemistry to their advantage by converting methane into carbon dioxide to produce energy. This process is carried out by many other species as well, all members of the methanotrophs. It's the bacteria's highly reflective pigments that raise its presence leaves, which have actually been employed for a good amount of time in the production of reflective textiles. Whether for caving equipment or just a cool jacket to show off, this bacteria proves to be just as fascinating as it is useful. Moving away from this aquatic beauty, from the safe confines of the outpost, is a long stretch of dry land. With many boulders and crevices to walk on, being here is not too different from taking a walk in between the mountains of the upper world, below the stars of the night. The temperatures are still not comfortable, especially for the Mediterranean members of our crew, but life is nonetheless carrying on within the rocky tundra. Billions of microorganisms feed on whatever the members are able to incorporate, whether it's minerals or other microorganisms, the latter being the detributors of the ecosystem. This layer of biomass is then consumed by dozens of species of small and lightly bioluminescent fungi. Finally, so-called fungivores eat these fungi, just like herbivores eat grass and plants to sustain themselves, completing the lower section of the food chain. We placed down a camera pointed directly at one of those fungi packs, equipped with a headlight for visibility. We were hoping to get some footage of those fungivores, but instead, an oversized spider attacked. This creature is an ambush flyer. Over 60 centimeters long, they're the first fauna we could get footage of. They share a common ancestor with jumping spiders and have adapted over several tens of millions of years to hunt prey within these caves. Unlike jumping spiders which leap forward to catch prey, these have made of gravity an ally. Crawling for hundreds of meters up to the ceiling, they use their eyes to spot the bioluminescent fungi and then wait for it to decrease ever so slightly, indicating something is blocking it, potential prey. Once spotted and confirmed, they simply let themselves fall and glide, by using a silk wingsuit they have learned to make for mid-air maneuverability. You can see it open up and reveal the wingsuit, held together by its long 8 legs, using air resistance to slow down. Unfortunately, the prey really was just an underpaid camera crew's intermittent satellite. But this still goes to show just how much these wondrous and mysterious conditions can make for terrifying predators. If you ever find yourself in one of these vast open spaces, make sure to always use certified night vision goggles, be equipped with an ambush shield, and to always be ready for anything. We keep going, this time through a tight crawlway that diverges from the previous tunnel. This time, the situation is the opposite. We're completely surrounded by a movable rock every angle we could look to. There's no space to move your arms around by much, barely any to breathe, and it somehow gets even colder. Rocks make up for great thermal insulation, meaning temperatures drop and rise quite abruptly. After some more minutes of slow crawling, there's finally an opening, but it's literally freezing cold. What was once an uneven rocky floor is replaced by the apparently limitless sprawling of ice. This is the deep Arctic, a cold wasteland where only a few scavengers and detributors manage to survive. Water, biomass, and heat are extremely scarce. But those are not the only dangers. Since the bottom is ever so slightly warmer than the top, ice can evaporate and slowly build up on the ceilings, kept in place by the high friction points made by rock cracks and fractures. Chunks would usually detach and fall, which is already dangerous of its own. However, an uncontrolled and continuous accumulation might lead to the formation of hundreds if not thousands of tons of ice up there, until the moment they would just snap, all at once. These and more sudden collapses of caves and geological formations are referred to as caving, which might not be as common, but certainly is as nerve-wracking. In fact, it was such caving taking place in the deep Arctic that had caused the infamous 2042 Cryostone event. The shallow portion we've just shown is home to our many hydroponics, habitats, and universities. It is home to us, to the 108,000 people recognizing themselves as citizens of the Gaby Deep network. We are no nation, we are no ethnicity, we're hundreds of them. And despite its intricate and spectacular sightings, we're now going to have to venture deeper down to see even more of its extreme and fascinating places. We're once again in our comfort zone, in the British city of Subternautic, floating above a dark and apparently uneventful ocean. It's going to take a while before submersible exit will be operational and ready for use. My fellow crewmates and I are going to have to wait, terrorized by the potential dangers, but fascinated by the potential wonders. We all deeply hope you've liked this first part of the documentary we're putting together. Feel free to ask any questions you have in the comments and consider liking and subscribing to stay tuned and join us in our next adventures. Until then, well, there's always the view.